Hey, how are you today? So I'm just here in my little home studio and I was about to film some classes for you, and there was a request that came through earlier in the week from one of the lovely ladies in the studio, and she asked for some yoga to deal with the mama rage or anger that comes up throughout our day, throughout our weeks and months. And I was going to film a yoga class, but there's already one in the studio, Yoga for Calmer Parenting, and I couldn't think of what else I would add to what I've already done there. So I thought this one really required a conversation. I've got some tips for how to relieve some of that anger and really look at the issue that's causing it, but I also wanted to address, I guess, the fact that you're not alone in feeling like this. I think we often don't see this side of motherhood. I think we're all a little bit guilty of feeling bad when we get angry. And so that's not the motherhood we show to the world. I don't think it's the side that any of us want to show, but I think it's the reality of mothering today. The stress of life today is a lot higher than I think it probably was 50 years ago. And I think we're dealing with different pressures. I'm not saying it's the reason why we should be angry and that we shouldn't do anything about it. I'm just saying I think it's pretty common, even though we don't admit it to ourselves that it's pretty common. So I'm sitting here in front of you today saying, yes, I often snap. I often get angry, even though I have a strong yoga and meditation practice. I'm pretty calm and cool in most situations, but if anyone can push your buttons, it will be those small little people who you created yourself, and they certainly know how to do it, especially when you're incredibly tired. They seem to always up the ante. And I get that too. I sometimes find myself, Eamon's asking me a million questions or demanding something or losing it over what seems to me the smallest thing. And I've got all this other stuff going on, and I might snap at him or shout or whatever it is. And then you get that mother guilt that comes afterwards. And I just wanted to let you know that you're not alone in feeling like that it happens, it comes up. Sometimes we feel like we can't control it and it comes from nowhere. And I think it's important to, once it does happen, rather than just stewing on the guilt and feeling bad about yourself, just acknowledge that you made a mistake. I think when our children make mistakes, we allow them to move on from it by just apologizing, giving them a hug and moving on. I think we can do the same thing for ourselves by, if I snap at Eamon and shout at him and 5 minutes later I'm like, that really wasn't called for, he was only doing whatever, it was really my stuff, then I'll often go up to him and apologize for it. Sometimes I'm explaining, I was really tired, Rory didn't sleep last night, so mummy didn't sleep, and I shouldn't have snapped at you, but maybe next time you could do this, and next time I'll do this. And we have a hug and it's over. And instead of stewing on it and feeling bad, we can move past it. And I think sometimes not allowing ourselves to admit that it was a mistake makes the anger worse, because we end up holding on to those feelings of feeling like a bad mum, and then it just gets bigger and bigger until we've got months worth of feeling bad about ourselves sitting on our shoulders, and we don't want that. But let's get into the 5 tips I have today for dealing with the anger that comes up in motherhood and trying to mellow out a little bit, I guess. So it's probably pretty predictable that I'm going to suggest yoga as number 1. For me, it's more about getting out of my head. I spend all day in my head. I go over past conversations, I go over future conversations, I replay scenarios in my head. I'm always planning. I've always got a checklist in my head going on of what I've got to do, what I've got to do tomorrow. There's so much in there. And for me, yoga takes me out of my head and puts me in my body. It slows down my mind because I'm too busy thinking about what my body is doing, and it calms down all the noise. And I think sometimes our anger can come from too much noise. We've got too much going on, we've got stress, and we're thinking for everyone. And I think if we can get out of that and give ourselves a break from that, it can make a huge difference in how angry we feel each day. The second one, hand in hand with yoga, is obviously meditation. So whether you're a meditator or not, whether you've tried it, whether you've done it and thought, I'm no good at this, I think we can all find a meditation that suits us. Just like a yoga class, there are all different teachers, all different types, and I think there's one to suit all of us. So with meditation, the premise of it is that you allow yourself to observe what's going on in your mind. So similar to when we're in a yoga practice, yoga is like a moving meditation. We allow, instead of being involved in all the thoughts, so getting caught up in them and feeling the stress of them, we can sort of take a step back and watch what's going on and actively choose to think them or not. So if I was to sit and be quiet and observe what's going on in my mind, perhaps I'm noticing that I'm stressing about something that happened yesterday. And instead of continuing that thought pattern of stressing and replaying the conversation, I can take a breath, let it go, and focus my thoughts instead on where I am now and what's going on today and here in this moment. So if that's the basis of it, if you can put that into your day elsewhere without it looking or needing to look like sitting on a cushion, lying down, whatever you think meditation needs to look like, you can put meditation in your day and get the benefits from it without having to fit into any particular type of meditation. So it might be when you're rocking your baby to sleep, instead of running that thought pattern of when are they going to go to sleep, I'm not going to get any time to myself, this is really stressful, I'm doing this wrong, what's wrong with you, and getting that stress building up. Maybe you can just count in for 4 and out for 4 with the breath. And that's a moving, rocking meditation that is in your day without needing to assign 10, 20 minutes extra to meditation. You may get there and you may build up to that, but let's look at a practical way to get you started. A walking meditation. So without the noise of an iPod or music or a podcast or whatever you tend to listen to when you walk, also without the noise of children, so it does need to be solo. You can go for a walk and just focus on the breath, focus on the footsteps, focus on just being in the moment without running the thought pattern, and that can be your meditation, a moving, walking meditation. If you're keen to try a seated meditation or a still one, you could start with a guided meditation. So I've got lots of guided meditations in the studio. And sometimes when you're first starting out, guided meditation is easier because you can focus on someone's voice. And rather than getting lost in your own thoughts, it sort of focuses you a lot easier. So maybe start there. All right. The third thing that I use is what I call a brain dump. Sometimes I find that it's so noisy that I just need to get it out on paper. And when I get it all out, for some reason, I feel calmer about the whole situation, whatever's going on. So it can be a good thing to do in the morning. Assess how you approach your day. So if you start your day and the first thing you do is check into Facebook or check your email or look at Instagram, maybe the first thing you do is you head straight into the kitchen and there's dishes from the night before and it's all chaos and stressful. It's probably no wonder that you're feeling stressed in your day if that's the first thing you see in the morning. So see if you can start making it a smoother transition so that you can start with a bit of a clean slate. So I use the brain dump in the morning by just writing down, if it's an issue that's coming up for me, I might just free write about whatever's going on. Sometimes I write a list. It just might be all the things I need to remember today. Sometimes I like to just focus on 3 things because I know I always overestimate how much I can do and then feel stressed because I didn't get it done. So a good thing for me is just writing 3 things, and they're the 3 things I'll get done today. And they might be small. It might be something simple that needs to be done around the home. It might just be send an email to so-and-so because you haven't caught up with them in a while. Just little things that you know are achievable so that you can feel like you got it done, rather than setting yourself up for failure with a massive list, like I sometimes do. Guilty. But just getting it all out of your head onto paper can really help. So maybe try the brain dump for you as well. The fourth thing is just being mindful of how you spend your day. So for me, I have to watch my social media. If I check into Facebook too many times, if I am on Instagram, I am stressed because I'm watching what everyone else is doing instead of just being in my own life. And I find that affects my stress levels. So I really have gotten better, as much as I like to be in those spaces because I get to connect with you. I have to watch that I don't just scroll. If I'm going in and having a conversation with someone that's meaningful, that's fine. But if I'm just scrolling and checking out random links, my stress levels rise. And especially if my kids are around, then it affects how I interact with them. And I don't want them to grow up seeing this little thing in my hand being more important than them. So I do try and put it down when I'm playing with them, pick up a book instead, that sort of thing, so that I find if I'm reading a book and they're just playing happily and they come and ask for something, I react differently than if I was on Facebook. And I'm not sure why that is, but it's some sort of connection I have with it rather than just a book that I can put down and pick up later. Maybe it's that fear of not being able to find what I was looking at when I come back to it. So just have a look at what you're doing in your day. Are you cramming too much in? Are you planning too many activities going here and there? Can you downsize some of the stuff that you're doing? Have you put too much pressure on your shoulders? Sometimes as mums we think we have to do everything, and if we don't do it, no one will. And I think our husbands have worked this out and we need to let it go, because you know what? If it doesn't get done today or in our way or when we want it to, it's fine. Life will go on, the world will go on. We need to let some of the stuff go. And I think allow the people around us to pick up some of that stuff rather than taking on everything. We don't need to be the ones who do it all. We can. I know you can. I know you're as capable as anyone, but you don't need to do it all because it's affecting how you feel and your experience, and I don't want that for you. And the last one is to talk about it. So here I am, hand on heart, I get angry, sometimes I rage, sometimes I'm unreasonable, and we all do it. I have no doubt that within everyone's home there is anger at some point, and I think openly sharing with another mother or a friend that I'm really feeling this anger today, and sometimes it's not even your anger. Sometimes you have a conversation with someone else and their energy gives you this sort of like anxious feeling, just interacting with them, and sometimes we take that on and we can't get rid of it. And especially if we don't talk about it, we sort of internalize it and then we're stuck in this little anger roll. So if you can talk about how you're feeling more openly with your partner, with a friend, with me, I really think that's one of the most powerful ways to start letting go of those anxious, stressed feelings that inevitably end up becoming outbursts of anger. Now, we're not talking raging either. It can just be those little snaps, those little snide little comments, maybe those feelings of resentment for maybe your partner or someone who's close to you. That's a form of bubbling anger that we're sort of pushing down and not dealing with. So if you can talk to someone about it and really be honest, saying, I'm struggling, because I think we've all been there when you're looking around and everyone seems to have it together and you're really struggling just to get through the day, just to get to lunchtime, to nap time. And I think even just having someone honestly say, I feel that too, can just be a weight off your shoulders. Okay, this is normal. I'm not crazy. I'm not doing a bad job. I'm doing the best I can. And that's enough. I think we put too much on ourselves and we expect perfection. And life's not like that. We're human. And I think we need to start expecting that life is going to look messy, but there are things we can do to deal with it. So talking about it, as much as I want to say yoga is my number one, talking about it is probably number one here. If you don't have a safe space that you feel like you can talk about it to someone, you can join us in the online studio. So we have a private Facebook group for that where we chat about all different things. And I really want that to be a space that you can just ask something and not be judged for it. It's a no judgment zone. And also, if you want to join me live, I've got the online women's circle coming up on July 20. So I'm going to be in a private Facebook group just for the women's circle. So I've capped the numbers so that it doesn't get too big. I'll be streaming live into that so you can ask questions and I'll answer them on there. And then I'm going to open it up to the group. So we'll be sharing openly in that space about different issues. I'll focus the conversation onto a couple of things, but inevitably the conversation tends to go where it needs to go. We'll draw some oracle cards, we'll have a meditation, we might have some tea. It's online so you can have whatever you like. You can have a glass of wine if you like. And we'll just connect in a safe space. So if you haven't found that person in your life at the minute that you feel you can connect to over some of these issues, maybe join us in the online women's circle. I'd love to meet you in that space. So I hope that these 5 tips have helped you. I hope I haven't rambled too much. I tend to have a gift at that. And I hope that we can connect soon in a space, whether it be in the studio, in a circle, or just generally online. Have a beautiful day, and I hope that we get to connect soon. Namaste.